Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about something which is going to shock a lot of you because I don't think even the lefties in Canada and certainly not the lefties in America have a policy or have protests like this. The left in Australia is so lunatic crazed and they hate our country so much that to get away with it, they saying they want to move the date of Australia Day as to not offend Aboriginals, or as Canadians would call them, First Nations people. They're saying that they want to move Australia Day to another date, but what they really want to do, and what the left, crazed lunatic left want to do, is they hate this country so much they want to abolish it. They're happy to take welfare payments and whinge about how much they hate this country, this, that, whatever. But, they're happy to take all the benefits that this country provides, but they hate the country so much they want to abolish Australia Day. That's the left for you. Take all the benefits, but shit on the country at the same time. Alright, I'm about to show you a list of councils that have currently banned Australia Day. Some of them have banned citizenship ceremonies, the great privilege of becoming a citizen of Australia, and some of them, as a result of banning Australia Day, the federal government has stripped them of the ability to hold citizenship ceremonies. Here we go. Okay, here is the list. We've got Yarra City, Victoria. Yarra City, Victoria is an inner city green left area where they live. They earn $80,000 a year. They drive around in Mercedeses. They drink their soy mocha lattes and they whinge about the state of our, according to them, terrible country. Interesting, isn't it? Garrabin, Victoria, another woke inner city green left seat of the Yarra area, where middle to upper class, residents. That of course, it's always whinging white middle to upper class lefties that hate the country. That earn $80,000 a year. It's funny that it's never the poor people. Moreland, Victoria, same thing. Inner West New South Wales, another green left maple leaf sort of area. Hate the country, woke councils, same sort of thing. Fremantle, Fremantle's a fishing area. Got a lot of fishing. I don't know why they've banned Australia Day. I can't give you a reason. I was totally shocked by that. Woke council obviously, but Flinders Island, Tasmania, and Launceston, Tasmania, and Byron Shire full of hippies. Now, what have you noticed about that list? 3 of those councils are in my state of Victoria. Now, we've got the most leftist crazed government in my state, where they've signed up to the Chinese Beltway project. They've sold our shipping ports to main Melbourne shipping port to China for, I think, $7.7 million. And China gets all the rights to our major future infrastructure projects ahead of Australian companies. Our Premier has done a Justin Trudeau type deal and sold out to China. So if I'm good enough to criticise Canada, I'm good enough to criticise the communist left premier of my state too. And if you notice, the majority, Victoria had 3 of those councils that have chosen to ban Australia Day, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, move it, whatever you want to call it, but it's really banning it. Right? 3 of those councils are in my state. Now, what the federal government has the right to do in Australia is they have a right to sack the councils. And that's what our Prime Minister should do right now. If the councils hate the country so much that they want to ban Australia Day, when they take a survey of 100 green lefties and say that takes a majority of people want Australia Day banned, which is bullshit, and they ban Australia Day because of liberal guilt and white liberal virtue signalling, then they should be sacked. They hate this country so much that they want to ban our national day, they should be sacked. Right now. Right now. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, there's something else disgusting about what's going on in this country that I'm going to have to show you. Just give us a second, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to use an article from The Guardian to illustrate it, because unfortunately they support this crap. We have Invasion Day protests on Australia Day in Australia with, you know, self-important liberal lefties that don't appreciate this country because they've had everything handed to them. They're on welfare, a lot of them. They're dole bludgers, and they go and whinge about this country and how bad it is because they've got no other focus in their lives. They take all the benefits the country provides them, and if they were taken away from them, they would whinge and moan. But they spend their Saturday whinging about how bad and how disgusting this country is. Now, Australia is one of the greatest nations in the world. We live in one of the greatest nations in the world. Of course, Canadians are going to think that. Of course, Americans are going to think that. But you are blessed to be born into a first world country like this. You could be born in, you know, Somalia, Sudan. You could be white and be born in South Africa and be slaughtered and have your family slaughtered and have your farmland taken. But it's funny, because that's happening to white people, the left doesn't care. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. Of all those councils I've showed you that have banned Australia Day, it's funny how none of them are Aboriginal councils. None of them are up north, Alice Springs, Darwin, whatever. The people that you could possibly claim would have a problem with Australia Day because, you know, of what happened, of what unfortunately some of the British did when they settled murdering Aboriginals. I'm not saying it's certainly not a good thing. It's not, but it was over 200 years ago. It was a settlement, not an invasion. And even if you do class it as an invasion, if you look back in history, I'm not saying it's right, but every single country gets overthrown, and some countries get overthrown, you know, multiple times. Yet, Australia's the worst country in the world, apparently. Plus, of course, what the left wants, what another big part about this is, It's about taking away Australia's history, good and bad. It's about making us null and void as a country. So that if being a citizen doesn't matter and being a citizen of a country doesn't matter, well, it's easy for the government to merge it. It's easy for the New World Order to merge the world into sectors and have no countries, isn't it? Anyway, whether it's Australia Day, whether it's a Canada Day, whether it's July 4th in America, the country, these national days are about celebrating who we are now and what we want to be and what we should be and what our hopes are for the future. And, of course, reflecting on our history, good and bad. Every country has good and bad history, but it doesn't mean we should abolish our national days. It is an absolute disgrace. And as I said, most of these people on protesting on Invasion Day will have nothing else, what they call Invasion Day, will have nothing else to do except because they won't have any jobs, and they'll whinge about, what a horrible country they're in while collecting their welfare payments and food vouchers and vouchers for the Salvation Army and going to the food bank and everything else. Leeching off the government, leeching off our country while complaining about it. Typical left. Typical left. And it's just I implore everyone out there, and I mean everyone, whatever country some of my subscribers come from, and whoever's listening to this video, celebrate your national days and celebrate them hard, because it could be taken away from you. It could be taken away from you. Oh, and also, just want to show you this. This is the type of people that turn up to these Invasion Day protests.
Criminal trial. Follow every moment with a live blog from inside the court. Watch exclusive video reports and
a Melbourne Invasion Day protester, and this was last year, dole bludgeoning welfare recipient, no doubt, because I believe last year Australia Day, actually it's a public holiday, so, but you can bet, said she hated Australia and said fuck Australia, I hope it burns to the ground. These are the type of people that turn up to these protests, collecting every benefit that our country provides and then shitting on it. I tell you know what I'd do if I was Prime Minister? I'd give them all a first class ticket and ship them off to fucking Iran, where if they drink alcohol, they get punished, and they can. White woman should probably get raped over there. Who knows? and he has to go around in a burqa and things, and woman can't drive by herself. You know, you go to one of those countries and see you fucking like it. I can tell you'd be begging to come back into Australia after a couple of weeks, if you don't get killed while you're over there, for one thing. You know, it's just the way the globalists and the left have fanned hate everywhere around the world. The way the education system has fostered this sort of anti-patriotism in Western countries, supported by the globalists, of course, is just absolutely an utter disgrace. In my opinion, it's anyway. Everyone out there, celebrate your national days, be proud of your country, put your flags up, because if you don't show enough support, it could be taken away from you. That is all, ladies and gentlemen.